Hi everyone, welcome once again to our topic of Let's Get Soroban. So for today, we're talking about custom data types and how it's being used and just implementing one in our contract. So something we need to talk about that is very, very important whenever you want to implement a data type, a custom data type, this contract type is always important. It's important that you place it at the top of your data type. So there are two kinds of data types that has always been used in Soroban. This is the structs. We have the structs and we have the enum. If you're coming from a solidity background, of course, you must know about what a struct is, and you must also know what an enum is as well. In Soroban, when you're implementing a struct, this is how it's been implemented the same way. And you can see that this attribute, it's very important that you must put this in here. It's being imported from the Soroban SDK. It tells that, okay, this is a custom data type, you want to implement it and it's going to be readable, and and every other thing else. So this derive attributes is also always been used in Rust too, and it's just way of like, okay, this is clonable, you can copy the data type, you can debug it, and mostly you can use this for your testing as well. And this is the key, and this is the value, encoded value. Moving on to using enum as a custom data type in Soroban. There are two ways of using enum. You can use it as an integer, and you can use it as a uint of tuple. Talking about, let's study the one of using of an uint of tuple. When using this, you can see the only difference between this and the states we already have in here is the fact that, okay, there's this tuple here, a tuple that can contain something else inside here, can contain something else in here, and it's just this is just like a unit. So whereby if you want to use it as like purely an integer, like probably it's only integers you want to use in this enum, there's something that must always be implemented. This attribute represents U32, meaning that everything in here is going to be an integer, and enums is being stored in the this kind of enums is being stored on the ledger as a 32-bit unsigned integer. You get? So whenever you want to use this attribute must always be in here. So looking at the three different kinds of data types we have the structs, and you can see what is common is this. We have what is common is this attribute and also this attribute, and we also have the enum. What is common is this attribute and this attribute. We also have the enum with uint and tuple. What's common is this attribute and also this attribute. But what's different between this enum enum and this other enum is the fact that this attribute that represents U32 is being used for the integer kinds of enum, whereby the one that contains a tuple and unit, you don't have to include this one. So moving forward, we are going to study we're going to implement a custom data type in our already existing contract. From the last class, we were building a contract step by step. We did a counter contract. We added the events in the last class. But right today, we're going to build on that. We're going to add a custom data type of struct. We're going to implement it, and we're going to test it as well. So let's get going. So moving on, this is the contract we worked on for our last session. So the first thing we want to do is to import the contract type. Sorry, it's already imported already. This is it. And next thing we want to do is to write a custom data type. This is it. Writing this as it states. And another thing we want to do is let's write a function to get the current counts. Nope. So since we want to implement this state here, we have to do it like this. What is the state? and give it the default value of this. If there's no state from this counter, set it to the default value. So on doing this, next thing we want to do is to remove this in, because since this is already been called in here, so we have to just call it again here. Remove this and give it a self get count, and clone this. We clone this. So after we're done with this, we want to, yeah, it's already been incremented already, and then this is the, okay, yeah, incremented already. Then we want to get the last increment states. I think this should not be commented out. This will be like this. So it's going to be more of like states.count and states.count. Yeah. So next we want to do, okay, next is to so this is declared as a count, so don't need to, because I want to states.count. So it's going to be let's just change this to states, variable called states. So it's going to be states.count, which is on this count, and also state.last increment is last increment. Yes, so we increment it, and then we get the last increment, which is this from here. So yes, so change this as we change to states. We change this one to states. States. Okay, this is the event that was published. This event, and here should be states. State, which is the state. And since we're getting this, returning the last, the what was incremented should now be states.count, which is states.count. This is it. You get. So we're done. We're done. So let's edit our test. So this was the last test we had before. Let's edit our test. What you just need to do, come here, close this. Let's write another test for it. Set equal. No, it's going to be client dot client dot. Okay, when you have this test in the increment function, so it's going to be client dot. Let's test the this get count function. It's going to be client dot get count. Sorry, get count. Get count, and it is a function. And remove this, and the states that was declared. States, yeah. So counts. The first count was 1, and last count was 1. So this is it. And we also have to make a little bit of changes from this last one was here. This one, just change this, and since we already have a custom state, it's going to be more of like states, then this is struct actually. Sorry. It's struct, so it's going to be like this, and continue count, last increment, which is 1. So you might be wondering then into bars, need to change this into what's acceptable in the change the errors type into Soroban type. So you might be wondering why we're doing it like this, right? So looking at this here, you can see the states. This height was incremented, this height was created, the state and contains the count, contains the last count. Whenever I'm calling this state, you must always make sure passing these variables to it as well. That's why it is here like this, and that's why we have this one here as well like this. So next we want to do is just run the test for our contract. Let's run the test. No, let's run the build. Contract, tell our contract build. Contract build. It's done. So cargo test. Cargo test. So you can see that this ran successfully. It's done. One test, okay. So with this, I hope you're able to understand what a custom data type is, how to create one, and how it's being used in Soroban. So see you next time.